Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to our YouTube live stream. What if $200,000 could buy you permanent residency, a property investment, and slash your living costs by up to 30 to 50%? That's what we're covering in this live stream today. Our commitment to you in this live stream, by the end of this live stream, you will know all the costs, processes, steps, and documents, and risks to be aware of implementing your retirement plan, whether you want to retire now or maybe in the future as your plan B for Panama. We all know you can obtain a pension and residency in Panama or retiree residency. My issues with these two programs is this. The retiree visa program requires you to deposit funds in a bank account, 300,000, and doesn't even lead to citizenship. If you're putting all that money and living in a country for God knows how many years, why shouldn't you have at least the option of applying for citizenship? The other program, the pensioner program, is great for anyone who has proof of lifetime pension of $1,000 a month. You can obtain a residency in Panama through your pension income. Simple, easy. But if you're planning to retire in Panama, do you want to own an apartment or villa? What's the point of having a pension and residency in Panama in the first place? To enjoy the sun, lifestyle, and so on, right? So why don't you skip all these unnecessary steps to obtain residency and buy your ideal property, which you want to live in or retire, and obtain your residency through that, all in one shot? And if you're planning to move in Panama a bit later, why not top up your income based on positive cash flow from this real estate with 5 to 6% net every month on your property income? No editing, no censorship, but just the facts and practical steps on how to implement your plan to retire comfortably. Why Panama for retirement? Out of all these nice coastal sunny places in Central and South America, why do we pick Panama? Stable economy, no dictatorships, stable banking, US dollarized economy, so there's no weird fluctuations, good infrastructure. You've got flights coming in out of Europe and North America all the time. Territorial tax system, meaning you're not double taxed in case you're earning income or pension in US or Canada or anywhere else in the world. Sunshine, 365 days a year. Warm climate between 28 to 32 degrees all year round. That's Celsius. And if you're in Fahrenheit, that's 82 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And most of all, you don't get robbed in Panama City or have home invasions. Safety is everyone's concern, especially in this day and age. As a current and future retiree, you may want to worry about nothing. You really don't want to worry about anything, right? Politics, economy, currency fluctuations, safety, crappy weather. Well, that's why Panama City should be on your top destination, including healthcare. Does your country offer that? Zero taxes on global income, sunshine all year round, not an intrusive government, or safety 24/7? If you're watching this, there's definitely a pain point, and that's why you're watching this, and that's why we're covering this in our live stream today. Again, just to remind everyone, this live stream for the retirees either now or in the future who actually want to reside in Panama eventually, meaning you need a roof over your head. That's the whole concept. If you're from a friendly nations classified country by the Panamanian government, such as US, Canada, UK, Europe, most of the Western world, you can obtain residency by purchasing any type of property in Panama, anywhere in Panama. This could be land, like literally bare land, apartment, office, commercial, pre-construction, ready projects, whatever you fancy. As long as you can show that it's under your title or you have a pre-construction contract, that can qualify you. You provide the proof of the property being under your name and you can process your residency ASAP. The minimum purchase value of the real estate property, no matter where it is in Panama, no matter what kind of property, is $200,000 US for the friendly nations visa applicants. Remember, the basis of the immigration program, the Friendly Nations visa, is based on economic ties to Panama, which kind of ties in with, oh, you own a property, whether you live in it or you rent it out or whatever, that's your economic tie. And that's what allows you to obtain residency and not even have to live there full time. What do you need ready to go ahead and make a decision on a property after you've seen them all and are comfortable with your final short list of villas or apartments to sign on the dotted line? Your passport copy, a credit card, or a $5,000 deposit, whether you want a wire transfer or do a credit card to the developer that you decided you want to work with. And folks, these are top of the line developers in Panama. We're talking about the top 5. We're not talking about some Joe Blow, like some guy who decided overnight to become a developer and, try out their luck. No. These are legit 10 to 20 years established development experience, at least over $1 billion completed in projects. They will ask you to complete a quick KYC form based on your personal details as the applicant, buyer, investor, whatever you want to call yourself, your profession, whether you have one or not, your income source. So it's a form, it's just field. You don't need to provide supporting documents. And the bank details, where you will be sending money from. So if it's JP Morgan Chase, TD Bank, RBC, Scotia, wherever, it doesn't matter. If it's Lloyd's, depending on if you're in the UK or not, it really doesn't matter. It's literally a one-page form, and it can be done probably in 5 minutes. So there you go. Side note, we do actually have one of our more established developers in Panama who also accepts crypto payments for their apartments or villas if anyone fancies digital assets. So just side note, if you're a hard earner and you've earned your money the regular way, no problem. Everyone accepts the money. And crypto, yes, the options are there. After you've signed and deposited the form with the developer, deposit the $5,000 through wire or credit card, you completed the KYC form, the property is, quote unquote, reserved for you for 30 days. Could be considered a cool-off period or whatever. Immediately, a purchase sale agreement is issued in Spanish and English for you to review, outlining your property details, parking spots, storage spots, the name of the developer selling you, the price of the property, size of the property, the official zoning and property details in Panama as per the public land registry details. The closing costs as well are included, since most developers want their own lawyer to complete the title transfer to your name through the public registry, and an advance deposit in case also may be included for the homeowners association. So each developer is different, but plus minus 99% are pretty much the same. These agreements are not too complicated, especially if they're not pre-construction. So usually 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, that's it. So you can actually read it. The agreement that's actually registered in the Panama Land Registry is the Spanish version, but we include the English version. So if you don't speak Spanish or don't understand and don't want to use ChatGPT, then we provided it for you. When both you and the developer countersign the purchase sale agreement, you initiate the balance payment to the developer's account. So you pay them $5,000 and you pay them the difference, whether your property is 190, 200,000, 250, whatever. As soon as the money hits their account, you can start the title transfer, which can be done remotely through a power of attorney or in person. The total closing costs for properties anywhere from 150,000 to, let's say, 500,000 are around $2,000 US to $3,500 US. Of course, if you purchase property that's significantly higher, the closing costs come to about a percentage, 1% plus minus. Okay, for the whole process of getting title under your name in order to qualify you for the Friendly Nations visa. Key points to consider. Payments made to the developer should be traceable to your own bank account under your name for immigration processing. This is a key point. So both the deposit and the balance payment. And a lot of developers actually accept multiple payments. So if you can't send it from one account, or you got to send it once and then another tranche like couple of days later, that's fine. The residency steps start right after you've transferred title to your name as the main applicant. Title transfer can be taking 4 to 6 weeks, max 8 weeks. We don't guarantee 4 weeks, but we know it can't take more than 8 weeks, so on average 6 weeks, depending on the project. Well, you can actually buy with $200,000? That's the question. You can buy a 1 bedroom, then in Costa del Este, so 1+1, brand new project, short-term rental license for Airbnb, and a property management service in a house offered by the developer. So turnkey, you don't touch anything, you don't do anything, and your prime location. Or perhaps you want a white sand beach property, either an apartment or villa. Apartment starting at 150,000 plus in Playa Caracol. Okay, forget my Spanish accent, it's horrible. A 1 hour drive from the city, pure white sand beaches of Panama. Yeah. Brand new projects with ready units for handovers or rental income. Or you prefer new apartments of over 100 square meters in San Fernando or San Francisco areas of Panama City, all with an ocean view, all starting at 150,000 plus, or perhaps Edison Park master plan development with established local communities, neighborhoods, and parks. Of course, there are apartments, 200 square meters and larger, or that's around 2,150 square feet at $300,000 price points. That's probably 4 to 5 times more space than what you can get in your city right now, whether you're in Canada, US, or the UK, right? Probably, if you're in a big metropolitan city, not a rural community, you're probably living in either, if you're not living in a house, your condo is going to be what, 700 to 1,800 square feet, and it'll probably cost 600,000 to $1,000,000, right? 300,000 US plus gets you actually 200 square meters, brand new, smack in the center of the city in Panama. We're talking about 1 or 2 bedroom apartments. We even have 3 bedroom apartments, or perhaps you fancy a villa on the beach, full common area amenities, swimming pool, 24/7 security, reception area, and they're not international students who are your security. Co-working spaces. You can just go there and work if you want to, if you're not retired yet. Cinema room, children's play area with all sorts of fun stuff. Gym, spa, sauna, the works, things that you should be getting, but sometimes you don't. The options are vast, and here's the kicker. You can either put 50% deposit and finance the rest of the purchase with a local Panamanian bank in case you don't want to do the residency up front. And yes, they do it even for non-residents. Or you can purchase a pre-construction project and receive 4% income from the developer during the construction phase if you paid it all up front. Or perhaps you're not in a rush to obtain the immigration or residency, since this is a plan for you to move there in the future, and you do an installment plan with the developer for the pre-construction project, so you don't have to dish up all the money up front. How about a 5-star hotel residency apartment by the beach, 50 minutes from downtown Panama City? We're talking about the top 5 developers in the country, folks. Okay, these are not random projects. If I wouldn't invest or buy into any of these projects, I would not be recommending it for any of my clients. So let's talk a little bit about that residency process, right? So you've planned it. You've got to pick the property that you fancy. The Friendly Nations visa, as explains, requires you to go through a real estate purchase process, obtain the title deed under your name, and then start the residency process. Remember, you can always do it with like parents as well, and then you incorporate and can actually hold the property under all of your names. But again, remember, 200,000 means one family, not 2. But there are ways to structure if there's multiple families. Obviously, you're investing more, but if you just want to own one property under a company, 100% possible. There's nothing impossible. It's just, is it practical? Is it practical? And is it feasible? We're doing everything for you remotely here. So what do you need after you've got your title? Notarized passport and IDs. Notarize an apostilled police report or background check from your country of residence. Marriage and birth certificate for your dependent family members if you're including them. All notarized and apostilled. 3 original passport size photos. All documents will be translated to Spanish in Panama, not outside Panama, not accepted. When your documents are ready, You arrive to Panama as a tourist on the same passport that you plan to apply for your foreign nations visa, whether it's an American passport, Canadian, UK, whatever. Okay, of course, if you are not from a visa exempt country, then you're probably not from a friendly nations visa. That's a whole nother category. We handle that too, but that's not part of this video. You arrive to Panama. What do? You sign a power of attorney for our legal team to process your case in Panama, complete a quick medical in a Panamanian medical clinic to receive a health certificate for your residency application, and open up a local Panamanian bank account while you're there, which is fast and easy with our network. Pay the government fees, which are $1,050 for an adult, $1,200 per dependent over the age of 12, and $800 US per dependent under the age of 12. When the application forms documents have been submitted when you arrive in Panama and the government fees are paid, the processing begins. The immigration department will take 3 to 6 months to process everything, in which case you will need to return when it's done. And of course, you can return later if, let's say, you don't want to come back in 3 to 6 months. You're like, I'm going to come back in a year. That's fine. You pay $50 per person a month as an admin penalty, up to maximum 2 years. Okay, you come back, you have your temporary residency. Voila. The outcome is a 2-year temporary residency in Panama. You can live there full time and do nothing you like, or you can do everything. You can actually work if you want to, have a business, do whatever. There's no limits. Or you can choose not to live there. So the 2-year temporary residency, you don't actually have to live there. So because you may not be ready, like this is down the line, right? Well, you can come back in 2 years, and then we convert your temporary residency to a 3-year permanent residency. And after which, the 5-year point, you can potentially apply for citizenship. To convert to a permanent residency, it's a $250 per applicant processing fee by the government plus the legal fees. So what's up with the taxes? Panama taxes are based on Panama source income, not your foreign pension. It's a territorial tax system. So if you've got inheritance, if you've got capital gain, if you've got crypto, stocks, whatever, pension coming from outside, sure, if you're Canada or American, you might pay your taxes there, but you're not going to get double taxed in Panama, okay? Because it's a territorial tax system. The goal is not a magical zero tax on your pension, but combining minimal local tax with a much cheaper cost structure in Panama for your lifestyle based on your pension. Of course, each jurisdiction and case is unique, which is why you need a plan. Really a plan. I assume you have a good accountant or tax advisor in your own hometown, because we have some of the best in the destination countries you go to. And maybe if you're around our neighborhood, we can also recommend you to any local tax advisors if you're planning to exit, or if you're planning to make sure if you're earning income or a pension in Canada, US, or UK, you can be, obviously not double taxed. Cost of living is key. That's why pensioners move, right? One is they want sunshine, they want ocean, they want lifestyle. Plus, they want purchasing power. If you're based in a large city, I'm not saying it's expensive all the time, well, unless you're in New York, Toronto, Vancouver, Los Angeles, or Miami, in which case, if you're in Miami, you're not looking for sunshine, maybe you're looking for cost of living. Then it's all about what are the options. In Panama, property is low cost compared to what you get. Sure, you can find cheaper properties in other jurisdictions, Central, South America, Southeast Asia, but how long is the flight? Is it safe? How's the currency fluctuations? Are there cartels? You got to ask these questions. But in Panama, you got to look at the property prices, significantly less. Brand new, maybe bigger, and you get more for your money. So, wow, we check that off. That's a winner. Healthcare and private insurance compared to Canada, travel insurance are private options, right? So the Panamanian system is based on private healthcare. So you can get an insurance maybe $1,500 to $2,000 a year, okay, that covers you in Panama. That's pretty good, better than the US. And why is it better than Canada? Because A, you're not paying taxes okay, for underserviced healthcare, meaning there's no long lineups. You're not going to wait for 2 years to see a specialist. This is an American system with a very low cost structure. You can get private healthcare, you pay, or you can just pay for what you need. Okay, but usually most of our clients will pick up full insurance, like top of the line, $2,000 a year. And you've got the best facilities, American style, ready at your service in Panama City. Some of the best hospitals, clinics, services. So why not? So we're talking about cost effective versus US. And we're talking about efficiency. You actually get what you pay for, maybe more. In Canada, you don't. You may think in Canada you get free healthcare, but is it free? Those taxes you pay, folks, and the public services you don't get, there's nothing free about that. Every time we look at some of these jurisdictions outside in North America, there's, I'm not saying every country is perfect. No country is perfect, but you got to think cost benefit analysis. Eating out, sure. In Canada, eating out could be lower cost than Panama City, but in the US, I would say Panama City is on par or lower. However, transportation, car insurance, home insurance, these are lower costs. So even if the cost of dining out at nice places in Panama City is a little bit on the high range, you're still saving so much on property taxes. We're talking about properties that may be 3 to 5 years property exempt from taxes. Or if they do have property tax, they're 0.5 to 0.8% per year. How much are you paying for property taxes? And then you're worrying about, instead of $100 going and dining out, I have to spend $200. You're saving 10 times more on transportation because it's all very small city, 20 minutes from point A to B, property taxes, property ownership, everything, insurance cost, everything is cheaper. The food may be on the high range if you want fine dining. But, if you're from a big city, you're already used to that. Again, live a low-cost life while you earn your income, your passive income, your dividends, your pension, whatever it is from overseas without being double taxed. Okay? And if you're not a pensioner, well, there's other ways you can potentially live tax-free in Panama. That's a whole different video. So let's look at it. Confirm that you're from a friendly nations country. If yes, of course, you can reach out to us. We've got an article on our website. It's pretty easy. And of course, you can use AI, right? You plan for a $200,000 purchase of a property. It could be any property in Panama. Decide your visa route. Well, yeah, I'm going to do friendly nations with the property purchase. Choose a target location or property type. We've got a quick intake form, which just we ask you a few questions about your real estate, and we can shortlist some of the best projects for you. So you don't have to go out and start randomly searching for stuff, because you don't want to be randomly investing, do you? Is that how you pick your stocks, randomly? And I'm sure your real estate is the same. Plan your tax and residency transition with professionals. So if you're exiting, of course, we have partners in Canada as well that can plan your exit if you want to become a non-tax resident, or maybe you're planning to do it in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5. But planning ahead is always better. Okay, test and live in Panama for a few months. Rent if you want to, then buy. What's the deal, right? What are the risks involved? Every country has a risk. Every plan has a risk. Every product or solution has a risk. Of course, there's no risk-free product or country anywhere in the world. Well, you've got to consider the US dollar currency. Well, that's pretty risk-free for the time being. Property due diligence, of course, the lawyers will do that. And when you're dealing with established developers in established projects, that's very minimal risk. Healthcare expectations. If you're from Canada, I think your expectations are zero. If you're from the US, I think it can be definitely competitive. There are language barriers. There's Spanish-speaking country. So if you don't know any Spanish, that could be a downside. But again, very friendly. So if they don't speak Spanish, they don't speak English, you don't speak Spanish, you will get along more with Panamanians than people in your own neighborhood who speak your language. That's my goal. That's my commitment and promise to you. Trust me on this. You think I'm crazy? Maybe I am, but not on this topic. And again, processing times are fast, right? So this doesn't take years like Portugal, right? And again, it's a policy. So this policy could change in a year or two. But if you do get the permanent residency or the residency, then you're locked in. And of course, we're in Central America. Sure, there's things happening around Central and South America, but Panama Canal is the cornerstone of global marine trade between the East and the West. So it is in the best interest of every country involved in the world to make sure Panama stays safe and the Panama Canal continues to operate. I'll be in Panama next week with our investors and future retirees, checking out the lifestyle, the culture, the food, the banking, and the neighborhoods, and at least 10 ready real estate projects, brand new, ready to move in or ready to rent out. Remember, you don't even need to be there to rent it out and manage it because property management is included. Send us a message if you want to join us. We're there January 15th to 20th, 2026. And if you missed us this time, we'll be coming back again end of March, early April with our flying by packages. Why not have everything curated for you in advance? If you're searching for international investment hacks, creative residency citizenship solutions, whether it's for now or your future, and to keep more of your money in your pocket rather than paying the governments or politicians to blow it for you, we provide key analysis and the exposed truth about programs, policies, updates around the world. And you can click to subscribe on our YouTube channel to get more insights on our videos regarding the ultra-friendly and optimized tax solutions and great weather all year round. If you're tired of paying taxes of 30, 40, or 50%, or you're just fed up with the government in general, it's time to think outside of your borders. Not doing anything is actually going to cost you more. And I've done that calculation for many jurisdictions. Okay. We've dedicated our team in crafting solutions to meet residency, citizenship, and investment for our clients. Clear upfront processes, payment milestones, and North American East Coast style communication and responses. We offer a variety of programs to match your goals backed by our expertise. Transparency, choice, security. With a comprehensive insurance, client trust accounts, and our North American banking institutions, we protect your interests. Plus, our team is multilingual, and we've helped clients from over 55 different countries around the world. Ready to take the next step? 60-second intake form. We can get on a call, talk out the details, explore, no commitment. Okay? If that doesn't sound appealing, I don't know what does. Folks, it's great seeing you. And of course, Rosita says, hello, Reza Jun. Good luck. Thank you, Rosita. Sorry about the messy background here, but hey, what can I do? I'm a hands-on guy. This is not like a production studio. I don't do this every day. I'm doing cases with my team, going, negotiating, looking at options, customizing solutions. That's why I've got a messy background. We'll see you next week if you're in Panama. And if you're not, we hope to see you there. And if you can't make it, give us a call, fill out our intake form. The links are all down below. And remember, the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. Take care, folks. And remember, don't just apply for the sake of applying. Apply with a plan. Goodbye and Happy New Year to everyone. It's January 8th. Take care. Bye-bye.